Welcome everyone, my name is Greg Ferris and you are at the MyoBrain YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing all things muscle soreness. Talking about muscle soreness, of course, the best place to start is what actually is causing that soreness. Well, I'm not going to get into the mechanistic side of things. We're going to talk about more of the practical application of what types of movements and styles of training cause soreness and what may not cause soreness. So the simplest way to think about this is soreness is caused by some form of novelty to your body. So of course, a lot of different ways to create novelty. The first one is obviously if something is new entirely to you. So if you've never done a reverse lunge, you've never done a Romanian deadlift, this may cause a lot of soreness. It may not have to be new to you entirely as well. Maybe it's just been a couple of months since you've done that exercise. Your body hasn't adapted to that yet. That is overwhelmingly the most common reason why you'll get sore, simply you haven't done that movement in quite some time. The second outcome here could also be the volume of work you're doing. Say you've done that movement like a back squat, but you've done it, say, 2 sets of 5, and now you do a different program. Maybe you're doing 4 sets of 10 of the same exact movement. That increase in volume can come with a lot of additional soreness as well. The third way novelty could play a role here in increasing soreness is by the intensity of what you're doing. I see this very commonly with people who do CrossFit. Maybe they were active before at the gym, they did even a decent program, but they weren't pushing themselves super hard. The same thing may occur if you get an online coach. You start to record yourself, you push yourself a bit harder, you look to add weight week over week. That additional intensity could be a factor in you getting sore. Even if you're on a similar program and even doing similar movements, the fact that you're training harder than you used to could be driving some additional soreness. Fourth major component here in how novelty can drive soreness is by movement-specific action. Movements that have long eccentrics or really stretch a muscle tend to cause more soreness than something that doesn't have as big of a stretch. And you likely know this if you've trained for some time, but take maybe for the lower body, a Romanian deadlift, where there's a huge stretch on the hamstrings. That can cause a lot of soreness. Maybe a lot more than, say, a back squat will, where nothing's getting stretched to that same degree. For the upper body, a classic example could be like a dumbbell chest fly, a big stretch in the pec. That can cause maybe some more localized soreness in the pec than, say, a bench press would, even though the weights may be dramatically lighter. So again, to recap here, kind of the 4 big components of how novelty can drive soreness would be a new exercise entirely, or just maybe in this current training cycle, higher volume than what you're accustomed to, higher intensity than you're accustomed to, or just that movement has a very long eccentric. And of course, for a lot of people, all 4 of these things can cascade and cause a lot of soreness. Now that we set the table for a good idea of what's driving that muscle soreness, the next good question would be, hey, is soreness necessary for us to make progress? And the hard answer here is no. No one's goal is just to be sore. The goal is to get stronger, to lose body fat, to perform better at your sport, or a combination of those things. Now, getting sore may happen from time to time, but it's not the real outcome we're looking for. So if we take the example of somebody who wants to build strength and build muscle, we know that's going to come from them chaining together many workouts over a week, over a month, over several months to make that happen. It's not just about how sore they can get some random day. And in some aspects, being too sore can actually be a hindrance towards that goal. To give you an example, say if you go really intensely, really high volume with some movements on a Monday, and it's so hard, you can't train those same muscle groups for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you may not have done that much work in the entire week. If instead you would have not been so sore after Monday, maybe you can come back on Thursday, hit a similar workout, and do overall more work. So this is one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why we're a big fan of not using too much exercise variation week to week. So if we take a lower body day where you have maybe a good program on paper, say you do sets of 6 of back squat, sets of 10 leg press, sets of 15 leg extension. That looks great. You get a feel for that. Then the next Monday, you come back and you do an entirely different workout. You do walking lunges, you do front squats, whatever. You're probably gonna be really, really sore from that workout. You haven't adapted to those movements. So again, if you're really sore on Monday, you can't train that hard again on Thursday. You're really sore again the next Monday, so you can't really train that hard on Thursday. But by repeating the movements a bit more, there's this thing called the repeated bout effect. This actually means the more often you do a movement, your body can adapt to that. You can get stronger, but you won't be crippling with soreness. So you can repeat them more often. And again, all things being equal, the stronger you get within a certain rep range, that hypertrophy is gonna come along for the ride. Okay, so we have a good understanding of what's driving that muscle soreness. We also understand that being sore is not the goal. The goal is to get stronger, and sometimes being sore can actually hinder that goal in the long term, which is why we don't have a ton of variation week to week. Let's move into some frequently asked questions actually submitted by a couple of clients. The first question here, does being sore mean it was an effective workout? Of course, we touched upon this a little bit, but I can also elaborate to tie things together. So the answer here is sort of. While of course the goal is not to be sore, the goal is to get stronger week to week, month to month, etc. It can be a good indicator that you're targeting the area we're looking to target with that movement. So for example, if we're doing a barbell deadlift, the goal for that individual would be to target their lats, their traps, their glutes, their hamstrings. That's the muscles that should be working. It may or may not be sore the next couple of days, but that's the goal. If someone does a barbell deadlift and the only thing that's sore the next day or two is their lower back and it's brutally sore, that could be a sign that we can clean up their technique to help focus the tension in other areas. The same thing may occur if you're doing a pull-up or a lat pull-down. We're trying to target the lats in that example. There will be some bicep recruitment, but if someone does that movement and the next day their biceps are wrecked and they feel nothing in their back, again, that can be a sign to look at the technique further to make some tweaks there. So while again, long-term progress, it's not something you should be looking at of, oh, I'm getting a lot stronger, but I'm not sore, what's going wrong? It can be a short-term indicator on, hey, am I actually hitting the muscle group I'm trying to with that given movement? The third thing to think about there with an effective workout, what you can look for if I'm having a good workout would be your attention to detail, kind of your focus, where's your focus there, your intensity, your ability to take kind of every set with good intention and hit it hard, maybe 1 rep, 2 reps away from failure. And then of course, long-term progress, looking at your log, are you doing more reps, more weight than you were the last time you did the movement? Okay, final frequently asked question here. Does moving around make soreness go away faster? Is there a best way to relieve it? So great question here, very common question. So light movement does help most people, I've found, to be a little bit less sore. A long walk, an easy bike, maybe even doing like light push-ups, modified push-ups, air squats, easy movements like that can kind of help you work out some soreness, if you will, but it's usually very short term. So if you wake up, you're really sore, you go for a walk, maybe you kind of work some of that soreness out, but if you go sit down for 2 hours, you're probably still going to be sore again. So there's no like hack around trying to dissipate that soreness. It may help a little bit, so in that example, if you hit a leg workout on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, you're super sore, but you do some walks, some easy biking, I'm not really sure it would make a difference in how sore you are Thursday. It may, but at the very least, it'll help you kind of feel a bit better on those in-between days overall. So like most things, prevention of becoming crippling sore is the best protocol as opposed trying to get really sore and then fix it. Area kind of loop in here that can be valuable, at least to my knowledge, there's no real scientific backing of things like foam rolling or massage guns or static stretching that would also break up soreness or kind of help your recovery there. If that makes somebody feel better, if anecdotally that's helped them, I'm all for it. We don't really recommend any of those tools to help with soreness to kind of get us back into the gym and train hard. So like I mentioned, the most important factor you can think about is being proactive to make sure, yeah, maybe you're a little bit sore, but you're not doing too much of something to get so sore you can't train for a long time. We really have three components we can look to control to make sure we don't get overly sore. The first thing would be to not be changing up movements too often. The second thing would be to not have a dramatic jump in volume. Don't go from doing 2 sets of something to 5 sets of something. Kind of gradually ramp it up. And the third thing would be intensity. You may find that you're really sore because you push every single set to failure or a lot of sets to failure. Try keeping 1 or 2 reps in the tank, and that may help. So all three of those factors will kind of come together to magnify someone's soreness. But that's what you should be thinking about. How can I adjust my movements, my volume, my intensity to prevent myself from being super sore, as opposed to how can I fix it, after the fact. Of course, in the beginning weeks of a program, it may just have to be there, may just have to train around it. And like I said, the repeated bout effect, the more frequently you do a movement, that soreness will dissipate over time. But long term, you shouldn't be training with so much volume, so much intensity, or so much exercise variation where you're sore after months and months and months of consistency. You should be able to have good workouts, like I said, 2-3 times a week with a muscle group and have productive training. So that's it for the video. Appreciate your time as always. If you have any follow-up questions for me around soreness, drop them in the comments below and we'll get to you. Thank you.